Hello, AFC Bournemouth fans. Happy Monday to you. Did you have a good weekend? I think you probably did. Those who watch the channel will probably know that I did. It was a decent weekend that was topped off by that 3-0 win over Barnsley, but also for a few others. Cherries fans loving the weekend. Happy birthday to Heather, to Filippo, to Carol, and not least Orion Nyland, our goalkeeper, who was celebrating on September the 10th, and a number of others who were loving life over the last few days. Not so much me, the big 4-0. Dreadful. But will we be celebrating on Tuesday night? Well, we hope so. But a dogged and determined and a stylish QPR side will be arriving at Dean Court. Two unbeaten sides coming head-to-head in what could be a very absorbing clash. There's no free-for-all tonight. It's a very quick turnaround for the Cherries. And to be honest, if you're looking to pick a team, whilst Parker is going to be keen to protect his players, you can't really look much further than the side that took to the pitch at the weekend. But we still do want you to get involved. So down below, pop your score predictions and your first goal scorer in the comments. And what we'll do, we'll pick one lucky winner who gets it right. And if you bang on, we'll give you a back of the net mug. You can't say fairer than that, hey? Right then, on to the preview today. And it won't just be me, because Tom is standing by, as well as an excellent footballing brain. A person who, if you watch YouTube a lot, you won't not know. Let's get into it. So we are delighted to be joined by a YouTube sensation. Tom Jordan, how are you?
Very well, mate. I appreciate that. Cheers.
But also we've got James Allcott here as well. And Tom, just before we come to James, you watch a lot of James on YouTube and you're really impressed with what you see, right?
Oh, I love him, mate. Yeah, favorite YouTuber, football YouTuber, definitely. You just picked Rory, mate. So
yes,
yeah, I appreciate. No, I listened to the podcast with Flav and stuff like that. Brilliant stuff, mate. And the Euro content and that was brilliant. So yeah, keep up, man. Really appreciate it. A pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, Tom. It's very kind, very kind from both of you.
I'm a dry slug, mate. I'm a dry slug.
You're dry. Oh, well, okay, all right. So I won't be too glowing in my. No one knows what that means.
I love it. I love it. Well, James, as you can tell, he's a dedicated QPR fan. And given the match tomorrow night, what better person to chat about the clash with the Cherries and with his side doing handsomely in the league? James, I imagine the activity during the transfer windows probably only improved your mood and optimism. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we needed... I was always like, we need one more striker here after what was a really good summer where we basically re-signed all the loan signings that had done so well for us last year, and there's an optimism that I don't think we've seen at the club since we went up to the Premier League last time, to be honest, with Neil Warnock in 2010. Should know that 2010-11. Yeah, there's a feeling that we were a few players off when it got to January last year, and then we brought in the players we needed, and you saw that, and we were fantastic, and we were able to kind of re-sign all those guys. But yeah, in that last week, we brought in Andre Gray, and I actually, if I can name drop, just because it's on my mind, I present for a channel called the League of 72, where we kind of look at all different teams, including yourself guys, and I'm really enjoying it because we're getting to kind of chat to. They just get amazing access, basically. So I was chatting to Chris Wilder yesterday. We were able to go to his place and chat to him for an hour, which was a joy. But I was sort of quick to say, I was trying to go like, we've signed Andre Gray, Chris. What do you think? And he's like, good signing. I was like, because I think a lot of people are sort of wary of, I think we've all been there, haven't we? Where you sign someone from the Premier League who kind of has done it, but hasn't done it for a little while. But to have the strikers that we've got in Dykes, who's had a great international break and has been brilliant for us generally. Charlie Austin, we know, can score goals at this level. And then Andre Gray, to have those three with the wage budget that we've got generally, it's a bit of a statement of intent. So, I think all QPR fans are cautiously optimistic at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was what you needed as well, James. I looked there and thought Lyndon Dykes works his socks off, doesn't he? Absolute nuisance up front. Charlie Austin, he can get a few goals, but getting on a bit, age and stuff like that, injuries. If you had a striker that scored goals at that level, that might be that missing piece. And Gray done that, didn't he, with Brentford? So yeah. I think that was a good bit of business. Do you think, along with obviously good recruitment, do you also think the way Warburton's come in, one, he's got some of the academy players through, hasn't he, playing a bit more regularly. They've had a good balance there with good recruitment and academy. But also, do you think the way you ended last season as kind of that momentum's started at the start of this season? Because that's what it feels like. You were knocking on the door a bit too late last season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think you wanted it to carry on, which was where the optimism came. I think then we had a great preseason in terms of the teams that we played. You know, we played Man United, nothing to lose, fans back in the ground, and beat Man United. Yeah, okay, they're playing their second string, but their second string walks the championship. So that's a great start. Then played probably even better in spells against Leicester City. So all of that kind of adds to it. And then you get off to an all right start. I think we've been probably been somewhat fortunate in the games that we've played so far, because it does feel like the league has those sort of, I want to say the big four in terms of the guys who've got that, you know, the personnel, at least the names, right? Yourselves, Sheffield United, who are of course struggling at the moment, West Brom and Fulham. And we haven't had any of them as of yet. So the teams that we've played, it's been good to kind of get ourselves moving in that way. But the whole running of the club has been a sort of 4-year journey, I would say. It's starting with someone like Ian Holloway, who had to cut the wage bill and bring through these players to start with. Doesn't get any credit for it, but did do that for us. And then gently sort of staying in the division, being smart with who we're buying and why we're buying them. And then I think Mark Warburton's I think he's a very, very, very good manager. And that team of him, we've got Les Ferdinand and Chris Ramsey, who've done really well at Spurs. They've got a real system in place that brings through these young players that we can sell on, or we're going and getting the Rob Dickies of this world, you know, the Bright Say Samuels of this world from Blackpool, players like that, that, you know, whatever happens, we've probably got a hungry player, and we also got an asset that we can sell on. So it feels rosy at the moment, but it could all end pretty soon. You never know, do you?
It feels like to me that a lot of fans of EFL Championship clubs are thinking that the top two's done already, like even after like a few games. However, there are 4 spaces after that in the playoffs, and we're one of them. I think we would love to get autos. I don't think it'll happen. Do you feel at this point in time that it would be a travesty with the attacking options that you've got, that, you know, if you don't make the playoffs?
Travesties maybe a touch strong, but I get where you're going with it, Sam. I think that it does feel a bit like, what was the analogy I used? I was like, it's like, do you remember Michael Johnson just won every 400-meter race, and then everyone was kind of racing for second place, like, and then Roger Black wins a silver medal, and it's like, wow. Whereas like really he's just won a silver medal. But so it feels a bit like that in our division. I feel like the Fulham squad is a joke. The West Brom squad it's a different kind of joke. Like, Fulham played so much possession football. West Brom are so direct, but you feel like with, you know, we'd say like the fullbacks they've got, everyone's sort of big and strong, and like it's just a lot to stop. That it does feel like it's those two. And then I think I would expect you guys to finish third. I would say that now after what's happened. You know, I think you've got the bulk of the squad that you've got there. I like Scott Parker personally. So, but coming back to QPR, I think after that it is so up for grabs. And I think in a season like this, more so than anything, I think, where it feels like there's a few and then the rest. Really, we should be knocking. It should be going to the last game where we're either in the playoffs or fighting for it, which is mad to say because we've been 16th and 13th, like, or whatever it is, 9th last year, which was because of that long run. But yeah, I think we'll be disappointed for sure if we're not at least kind of like 7th and we just got picked. Because of those players that we brought in. So I think, I'm sort of still acclimatizing to the expectation of that.
It does feel like you've just kind of been that, like you say, that mid-table kind of bottom half for a while and just been waiting. There's been a few teams like that, and Nottingham Forest have been there and they haven't started well. But yeah, like you say, it feels like it could be your season, but it is very early days. How do you alluded to it a little bit there, when you look at Bournemouth away, is that the type of fixture you think, go there, take a point, get out? Is it that Bournemouth still, have we still got that kind of, because we've been recent in the Premier League and we have got a good squad still, despite losing a few, are we still that type of team where most teams would take a point at our place, do you think?
Certainly, and I think there's something in the fact that the pressure probably isn't on you as much as it was last year. Like, I think you're going under the radar because everyone's talking about everyone else. You know, you got those other three teams and then yourselves. I look at Bournemouth and I feel a bit like there's no reason why you can't be like Norwich the first time they went up, where the second time they'd come down and they needed a season to sort of get their stuff together, and then Daniel Farke came in and they were off. I could see that happening with you guys. I really could, because the quality is there. I guess a question for you guys is why is it not totally clicked? Because when I look at the squad, like the names that are there, like it's really, really strong. And Gary Cahill's a great addition in this division. Solanke, I think, is getting better year on year. Like I expect. Ben Pearson's one of my favourite players in the Championship. Or I also sort of hate him at the same time because he's really irritating to play against. But you've got everything you want there. It just it didn't totally ever click last year, did it? It was weird.
No, it probably, like you said, that pressure of just coming down and expecting to go up was difficult for us. I felt we'd just gone down and we're playing very counter-attacking football because we're in the Premier League and we haven't got as good a squad as other teams. And I felt we were set up with obviously Dan Juma, who's left, who had a good end to the season. Quick player on the break. We were trying to play that kind of counter-attack, and you think, but these teams are setting up to go and have the ball and break us down. I felt we become a bit too predictable, and I feel what Scott Parker seems to have done quite well is he's brought through some youngsters as well, and we seem to have a better balance about us at the start of the season, I think. And like you say, we've got a lot of young players, and I think people like Gary Cahill and that, you can't by that kind of leadership and them experiencing in the dressing room and them kind of qualities. So I think we're quietly confident. Like you say, I like that we're going under the radar a little bit this season.
Yeah, I remember us playing you last year, and I think we got a draw, and it was one where we sort of I remember watching it thinking you were good, but you weren't too good, if that makes sense. Like we were close to hanging on and then try and do stuff on the break. But I think that's the thing. You kind of need to get to a point where the chemistry's there with the ball. That when you play teams, and there will be a lot of teams that will be coming for a point against you guys, that you're too good, And again, I look at it, Lewis Cook, Kilkenny's had a really good start to the season for you guys. Macondes is interesting at this level. Like, I think Brentford fans generally think that the output's not always there, but there's so many names in there. I mean, I'm just be reeling off names, but it's you. I mean, you would be really annoyed if you didn't get the playoffs, surely.
Yeah, we would, especially how when you just snuck in there. Last season, we felt overall it was quite a poor season. Really, I felt like I was disappointed after most weeks, and we still got the playoffs. And we were kind of ascending off and a few silly errors away from.
You were close, weren't you? So close to getting through. Yeah,
very close. So yeah, you certainly like to think so. I think it is that thing. It's about the way teams set up against you. You've got to find different ways of winning sometimes. And I think it was a good point you made. We kind of felt like in a lot of games, like when we played yourselves, maybe 1-0 up or 0-0, and just felt like we couldn't quite go to that next level and just kill a team like Norwich were doing. Norwich go 1-0 up and then Buendia and Cantwell just turn it on and it was game over. Yeah, and we were probably better against the teams near the top because of that. But yeah, I do look at you guys and think that equally, I think that's a game that if we drew that, I wouldn't be gutted. I think QPR are a difficult side. I think you've got that different system, haven't you, with that kind of the free at back sometimes. And he seems to change depending on the game a lot. And I think, you've got a nice blend to your squad there as well. So, and Charlie Austin always scores against us. He played for Southampton. We don't like him. We know what's going to happen.
He's unbelievable. How he can. We played against Barnsley recently, and he was terrible. Like, he was terrible, but he still pops up, and he could have scored another one as well. It's amazing.
When I look at the results that they've had so far, Tom, they won 3-2 away at Middlesbrough. They pumped Hull City 3-0 on their own turf. I'm not convinced we, on our current form, would have been doing results like that. Well, it was there to be seen at Hull City 0-0. It was a bit of a poor one. But James, for this one, how do you see it panning out tomorrow?
I'd take a draw. I think you're right. So I think what we're finding, and it'd be interesting to see how you guys play, because I remember the West Brom game. You kind of went. It was interesting how you played against them. I guess it's probably dangerous to take too much from that game. The way let me tell you the way we play. We want a slow tempo to a game, and we want to keep the ball, and through that in time with our pattern of play, we will score. because we'll have bodies in the box, because we'll have Dykes in the box, because we'll have Charlie Austin in the box, or also because we've worked our way up the pitch, and then Willock will be on the ball, who's been brilliant so far this season. Chair, who's gone to a new level this season as well. So the teams that we've struggled against a little bit have been the teams that have really gone at us early doors, and sort of we struggled with the press because we're sort of trying to drag the tempo down a little bit. So I think there'll be things like kind of XG and stuff like that where we might sometimes look bad just because we are dragging it down to this tempo, but we still seem to be able to score goals with through this tempo. But playing against you guys with the squad that you've got, I think we'll definitely play 3 at the back because I think we'll be more solid that way. Because I think we will probably take, pinch a win would be wonderful. Take a draw, we'd be happy with that as well. So I expect us to play 3 at the back for sure. After that, it's interesting. Like, do we play 2 up top, which we haven't really done so far this season with Dykes and Austin, but it was what we did a lot last year. That's the thing. Now it's interesting. We've got if we play it was like a 3-4. I'm running out of numbers, aren't I? It was weird. Basically, we had 3 centre backs. We had 2 sort of wing backs. We had 2 kind of in the middle, and then it could be Charlie and Linda Dykes, and then Chris Willock, or it could be Chair. And this is where I'm getting confused myself, is that we've kind of got too many players there now to play 2 up top. Right. So I'm intrigued to see what we do with that, and how we utilise the ammunition that we've got up top now. But I think in big games like this, he will stay with the 3 at the back. And I think against lesser sides or teams that we think we can go and beat, I think we'll start to turn to a 4 at the back. But yeah, I think we'll play 3 at the back against you guys. And
I think that this could be Gary Cahill's first start, because I think we'll look at it like you said with Charlie Austin, Lyndon Dykes. I think it could be a good game for him. I think balls will come into the box. Chris Bepham's had a good start of the season, but he's just been away, international duty, things like that. That always plays a part, doesn't it? And I just think this could be the game for Cahill. Someone against Austin who's a clever striker. I think it could be a good game for him. I'll be interested to see from our point of view. I've seen that QPR, you've kind of switched that left wing back, left back quite a few times. Start the season with Wallace, and you've changed it more recently. I think if Wallace were to play, for example, he's a good player, but probably hasn't got the legs all the time. David Brooks is a key player for us. I think if he can get on the ball, that's how I look at it. I think that could be our in. But and just getting in amongst it in the middle of the park, I think we need people like Lerma and Pearson to not allow people like Chair to get on the ball, because he's I don't know what you think, Jay. He feels like he's the next Eze. He's a bit older, isn't he? But he feels like someone that if you weren't to go up, people start having a look at, because I've always been impressed every time I've seen him.
Yeah, totally. I think it's output with him now. Like, are we going to get the goals and are we going to get the assists that Eze sort of turned into in his 3rd season? And the same goes for Chair. Wallace has been injured. I think it hits him and a guy called Sam McCallum, who we bought from Norwich, who are kind of battling it out. You got the young guy who probably will obviously become better. Lee Wallace is sort of transformed in this system, and he's miles better going forward than he is going back, and that's kind of why we play with that. Started playing with that 3 at the back. Yeah, I think the midfield area is going to be interesting, because Johansson he just runs games. He really does just run games. But I know, with the midfielders that you've got, that you would look to kind of do that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how you can stop our midfield too, which I would always go with Dominic Ball, who's the kind of, he'll go and win it, and then he'll go and give it to Johansson or those other players. And then it's likes of Chrissy Willock and Chair. They kind of sort of float a bit, both of them. Again, that's why I kind of say we don't just go, because we've got Charlie Austin and Lyndon Dykes up there. Maybe that's what we're trying to do with someone like Gray, to be able to go do that. We're always going to try and play through you. So, it will be down to the fact of what tempo do you try and play at, or do we just go head to head and both try and pass it about and see who's better on the day? It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, go on then. Prediction time then. Tom, I'll come to you first. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go. I think it will be a tight game, but I'm going to go us to lick it 2-1. I think we'll be 1-0 up. Charlie Austin will score. Give it all that. And then by the end of the game, we'll be singing Austin wants to score. Yeah, I think we'll nick it, but I think it will be a fascinating game, like James says.
I'll be gutted to have another draw, our 3rd home draw this season. All our forms come away. James, what are you going for?
I will never go against the boys. I think we'll. I think we'll pinch it. Why not? Well, I think it stinks of a 1-0 Rangers.
Love it. Let us know what you think in chat. In a moment, we're going to be showing them on screen. James, before you go, whereabouts can people? Well, where can they not see you on YouTube? But where's the main place that? Where can people see you?
Yeah, I am getting that a lot now. I'm trying to. I don't want to be like. I don't want to go, fuck that. Sorry, that guy's face again. Like, I don't want to see that.
You're like the James Corden of YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to say it, but I don't want to be the James Corden of YouTube. Well, I mean, actually, I probably do. So, I mean, I tell you, my channel is James Lawrence Allcott, which you can go and find that just by searching my name. But I think, if I can say, I'm doing a live stream every single Thursday for this brand new League of 72 channel. We look at every club pretty much within the EFL, and I think it's a really good show. And we've got footage, we've got really great access. We're chatting to Sam Vokes tomorrow morning. Chat to Chris Wilde, as I said last time. We'll be chatting to Scotty Parker, I'm sure, at some point as well. So if you are into the Championship and League One, then go check us out on League of 72. If you search that, you'll find us.
Brilliant stuff. James, appreciate your time today. Thanks so much.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
And Tom, once again, cheers for coming on, buddy.
Cheers, boss.
Excellent to hear from the boys there. And remember to check out James's stuff on YouTube. We've popped all the links you need in the description below, so make sure you check that out. If you're at the game tomorrow, come say hi after the final whistle. We'll be outside ready to listen to your views straight after the game. Find us by the entrance to the car park just opposite the door for the 1910 bar. We'll pop the video up as soon as we can after full time, and we cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Right. Don't usually do these bits, but I just want to say a huge thank you for your help in the continual growth of this channel. YouTube, for me, it's not about numbers. It's about the enjoyment of bringing lots of AFCB content to those that can go, but more importantly, those that can't. I'm not overly keen on the continual pushing of view counts and sub numbers on YouTube, because outwardly that kind of looks like it's all about, but it's not. But that said, a milestone has been reached over the last 24 hours, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to bring this content. And look, without you, your retweets, your shares, your likes, your positivity, your on-screen contributions, whether it's in person or over StreamYard or whatever, and also the financial help for paying for stuff, it wouldn't be possible. So a massive thumbs up for you people. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for helping to make the channel what it is. Really appreciate it. We're still a Diddy channel, right? We're still Tim Pot, but the aim, just like the boys on the pitch, is to improve and make the fan-based coverage of AFCB as brilliant as possible. YouTube isn't for everyone. I completely get that. But for those of you that have got involved, thank you for being involved. Really appreciate it. Finally, Allcott is at the game tomorrow. You might know him from the Vitals Forum on Twitter, an Englishman in France, and he's been a fan for many a year. 1968, I think, was his first game. Kings Lynn in the FA Cup. I'm pretty sure that's what he said, but he's been on free-for-alls, bringing some general mirth and singing to proceedings. And you may know his story, you may not. He's on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. We'll pop his link down below. But if you're at Dean Court tomorrow, say hi. I met up with a pint from earlier. Absolutely top man. I've kind of partially met him in the flesh through passing before, but this time we actually got to chat and share a couple of beers. And such a lovely guy. He's going to be at the Cricketers from 5 p.m. Might be making a cameo appearance at the Firkin Shed, but he's going to be in the Ted Mac. And he may be in his French beret. Also, he may be wearing onions around his neck as well. What a guy. Make sure you say hello. But anyway, enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy the game. And as I say, no free-for-all. And thanks for getting involved. See you tomorrow at Dean Court, hoping for 3 points of the Cherries.